Welcome to another St. By Night revamped production. The following is rated for mature audiences and may contain graphic themes that will be distressing to some viewers. As always, we recommend you ensure the safety and well-being of yourself and those around you at all times. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to the St. By Night Twitch channel where we play St. Petersburg by Night, a massive multiplayer tabletop role-playing game set in the world of darkness. We play Vampire the Masquerade, Hunter the Reckoning, and Werewolf the Apocalypse. My name is Nikki, also known as Crafty Mirage, and you can find me on all social media at Crafty Mirage, and I am one of the storytellers here at St. By Night. Make sure to check out St. By Night on all social media platforms. We're on Twitter, also known as X. We're on TikTok for as long as it remains. And we are on Instagram and also on YouTube, where we are now going to be having YouTube exclusive chronicles. So go check those out. But you really should check us out on our website, SPbN.com, where we have our city map, we have our storyteller profiles, and we have our threat meter. And whatever else Kyrie is cooking up in the backgrounds that he is going to introduce at any point. Man is a wizard. If you aren't already a subscriber here on Twitch, you should go ahead and hit that follow button and catch up on all of our past episodes. And if you're interested in playing with us, come and join our Discord server and be a part of our amazing community. Today we are playing Don't Get Caught. One of our chronicles here on St. By Night, our Anarch Chronicle to be precise. Let's go ahead and meet our players.
Hello, I'm Jade. I'm going to be playing Alex Baker, the Toreador.
I'm Krasaz, playing Rex Elias, Nosferatu.
I'm Jay, playing Valerie Monet. Kind of going on the ups venture right now, not doing too bad.
Fortunately, Annalise, our Tremere, couldn't make it today. We hope to see her here next session. So, last session, our Anarch Ventru returned to Tarpon Springs after a brief vacation? Detainment? Whatever you want to call it. With the Tampa Camarilla having been given over to St. Petersburg by Sebastian de Leon over a little snafu involving the cult of Mithras, and then the St. Petersburg Camarilla promptly delivered her back to the hands of her sire. She returned to the coterie with her ghoul father, And Rex, immediately suspicious, but welcomed Valerie back nonetheless and filled her in on his plans to potentially take over some baronies down south and make a name for themselves. They got an alert through the security cameras that there was some movement in the sewers where they had first encountered the white they had defeated. And they traveled down below to discover Annalise and Alex, two kindred that had been assigned by Sebastian de Leon to get rid of the pile of putrid bodies that were still hanging out there. They quickly dissolved the evidence using the special blood sorcery known as the Tremere and their corrosive vitae skills, and then went on to La Salva Spa, where Annalise, Alex, Valerie, and Rex met up with Marcos, Sebastian's ghoul, and second in command to the cartel. They discussed some things, Valerie got River back, and they filled in their two new coterie members on the happenings of what was going on in the city. They returned back to the Haven and went about their week settling. Our first scene tonight is between Valerie and River. Valerie, it has been a rough couple of weeks, to say the least. And the entire time you didn't have River with you. That was strange. It wasn't something that you're used to. Your faithful ghoul is always by your side. But for the first time in your life, you didn't have him. And, well, your unlife, rather. So, upon returning back to the Haven, and everyone settling where they are going to settle, others going back to their respective havens, your father being banished to the couch because he doesn't need a room. But River you brought up to your bedroom. And he is wearing clothing that was definitely from the spa. It's got the brand logo on it. And he looks pretty wrecked. So he heads into the room, having tried his best to stay composed and professional, but the second the door closes behind the two of you, sort of lets his shoulders drop and, like, kind of shuffles over to the bed so he can sit down at the edge of it. He also looks like he hasn't shaven since you last saw him too, so he's doesn't look as clean cut as he usually does.
I imagine as like River kind of visibly deflates, also Valerie does the same as well, having a very intense evening here, a very intense night so far, having kind of shrinking down a little bit as Valerie just, walks over towards the bed and just kind of lays down for a second, then just kind of sits up for a moment, just says, they didn't hurt you or anything, right, River? Did they?
No, I didn't fight them or anything. The initial blow from when they took us in healed after a while, just a headache for a couple of days, but no, they just let me have my own room, and I stayed there the whole time. Marcos came in every now and then to, I don't know, I guess chat, so I wouldn't go crazy. They wouldn't let me talk to any room service people, so he generally brought me food. Spent a little bit of time in there and then left. What about you? How did you get away?
It wasn't easy. I had a not very good time over there. Agnes did as she normally likes to do when I step out of line, which is feeding me the wrong type of blood and starving me until the brink of starvation and only feeding me when necessary. It has not been a very nice few weeks, but I suppose my father finally decided to have, I guess, some sort of change of heart, I guess. I don't know. He saved me, I guess. I don't know. I'm not
How?
sure how to feel about it.
He's her thrall. How?
I don't know. I know that he came in, talked about how he was sorry and he wanted to fucking make up for. For all I know, this could just be them keeping tabs on me still again, like they did before.
Then send him away.
Yeah. But if I do, then they're just going to come at me again. I imagine this is some sort of insurance policy because all the all that stupid shit I said. I don't even know why. Just
I mean, yeah, it was a little reckless. It put a target on your back. Put a target on our back. I'm like, they could have killed me. I'm lucky that they didn't. But they were just gonna let the clock run out.
I
I
probably
was
just kind of look away from River right now.
I was disposable, Val. I had no idea what was going on or what was happening to you. All I knew is that every day I was waking up one day closer to getting desperate.
I know, and I'm sorry. I don't know. I just got so, I guess, upset, and I was just spouting nonsense about some baseless shit, and I I didn't mean to bring you into that. I wasn't thinking, and I won't let them do that to you again. I won't let it happen to us again.
We don't have the laws of the Camarilla here to keep us safe. There's no rules on destruction. There's no rules on hospitality. There's no rules on any of that. If they wanted to, they DeLeon didn't have to give you over. He could have just killed you. He could have just killed me too. So you gotta wonder why on that front. Why he kept you alive. You gotta wonder why Agnes let you go, because she's got resources. And you heard her already. She already knew where you were before. You gotta find out what their game is here, Valerie. You can't just go around. Sorry, he just holds his hand up. Sorry, I'm not trying to lecture you. I'm sorry. I should mind my place more.
Fuck, man, I'm trying. I am trying. I'm trying to figure this shit out. I'm trying to get into a position where this shit can't happen again. I know that we don't have the rules like we did, and they can't really protect us. But that's why I'm trying to I realize that I can't just keep running from what I am. And the more I do that, the more it puts us at risk of this kind of shit happening to us because I'm afraid of doing shit that's necessary. So
You're afraid of power. Is what you're afraid of. But that's what you need to protect yourself and those that you value.
I just, man, I just don't want to turn out like them, like Agnes, like all the other fucking Ventru in Tampa. And it just feels like the more that I try not to, the more that ends up just shooting myself in the foot. But I know at least I can't change who I am with what I've been made into, but I at least determine how I go about things and who I am as a person. And I'm going to be better. I'm going to make sure that this won't happen again. I and like Valerie just kind of like looks over, just like there's a kind of the bloody tears kind of welling up a little bit, just kind of, and then just like gives a very like quick and sudden like awkward kind of half hug for a second, just like, and then just kind of sit there for a moment, and then just I'm I didn't know if you would be alive when I came back, and I was so worried, River, that my mistake got you killed or hurt, and I'm I'm really sorry.
He's stiff against you a little bit when you hug him just because it's not something that he's used to. Because he presents a very professional, very dutiful. He plays the role of the servant very well in public. And as such, knows his place as a ghoul and doesn't seek out affection. So when he does receive the affection, it's odd to him. It's almost like he's forgotten what it's like to be on the receiving end of some. So,
And Valerie's is very awkward too. There's a very awkward, like kind of half hug, like kind of trying to like commit, but not sure what to exactly do. So it's just like kind of half in it, half not. Like like her face kind of more towards like his arm, kind of getting a little bit of blood on his sleeve.
he'll shift slightly and then just as awkwardly putting an arm around you. This is like the most awkward, comforting hug in all of existence. But he does put his arm around you and just like give your head a couple of like pats. And then I know you didn't mean for any of this to happen, and I don't fault you for it. Your temper, despite your excellent control on it, sometimes will get the better of you. But you do need to consider. He pauses as he thinks on how to word this. Sometimes when you want to make yourself to make it so that there isn't poison in your life, you have to take in a small amount to adjust to it. You can't keep running from power, Valerie. It's the only thing that'll keep you safe. And I hate even that Pharaoh guy. That's the one bit of good advice he did give you. If you are indispensable, they can't target you.
So I'm going to make sure that I'm going to get my cut from that fucking job we did. What we got was nothing compared to how much we got him, especially considering how much of good faith that got me with him. And I'm going to make sure that get us more power. Make sure that uh, that make sure that doesn't happen. And she's like now like kind of pulls away and kind of straightens out her outfit, kind of like recomposes herself a bit more, and like wipes her eyes. She's like, I you're the only one I can trust, River, and I want to make sure that whatever happens, that at least you're safe, because everyone else that I've trusted betrayed me at some point, or and I want to make sure at least one person that just stuck with me through the end, or at least through it all, they don't get fucked over by what happened with me, and I can repay them for what you did.
I mean, you know what I want, but we haven't gotten any closer to finding it, finding anything.
We at least have our lead with Carmen. I didn't get a
And what
chance
have
to.
we done with it? I can't move without you. I am a ghoul. She's not going to talk to me. If I want to find out what happened to Gabriel, you're the one that's gonna have to be the face for it. Otherwise, I'm never gonna know or find out.
I know. It's just been really fucking crazy, and I'm trying to find how to juggle searching for him and trying to find. We also make sure that we. And now I gotta make sure we have enough. I dedicate enough time to get power to make sure that we have something set up so we can defend ourselves. And but I promise I will get in contact with Carmen when I get the chance. I need this at least this time to settle down and at least get my bearings on the situation here.
And he looks to the door of the bedroom. And him? What's his role? Is he staying here? Is he
If
yours
he's
now too?
if if he is sent, most likely is sent by Agnes to keep an eye on me. It'd be best to at least keep him close. So they don't suspect anything, or at least suspect that I might know something. So he's going to be here for the time being. There's not much I can do about it. If I do something sudden, it could result in me just getting sent straight back or something else. I I did clear the moment before I saved me that I had a chance to talk to Agnes, and I did overhear her mention something about a purpose, something about I had was the best for something. It was discussion between her and Bateman. It was
Wait. Bateman? How are
the
you
Bateman.
still here?
I wasn't going to be, but that's what my father saved me from. Apparently, I had some sort of purpose that I was the best for something. Maybe that's why they spared me. If they did, if it was just
You need to find out
her
what
keeping
that
an eye on me,
is. You need to find out what that is.
know, River. I know. It's unfortunately I just don't have the means for that right now, and the only one that I know that could possibly do that, or at least the one, can't get into Tampa territory. So maybe my father, if somehow he might have overheard something, maybe I can get him to slip up about it at some point, or
To interrogate him.
maybe an opportunity. I can't make it seem too overt, because if I make it seem too hostile, like I'm trying to, like suspect something is up, then things could just fall apart. If we at least play along with him, keep him around, and I don't have to be buddy with him, but I can at least not just hate him, then at least we can buy ourselves some time.
All right. In the meantime, I'll keep an eye on him, but first things first. And he just looks down distastefully at the basically a tracksuit that he's wearing, the t-shirt and jogging pants. I need to shower, shave, and get the fuck out of this outfit.
I would we'll actually give a smile to that, and we'll nod. Just, it's certainly not your style.
It's resort wear. And he gets up and starts heading over, like slowly stumbling over to the bathroom that's attached to this bedroom.
And then while Valerie's watching him go over, Valerie's still have that little soft smile, but then kind of starts dropping a little bit, turns to a fake smile. And Valerie just kind of feels this really bad sense of guilt kind of wash over her for a second before she just kind of shakes it off and goes to freshen herself up and prepare for what she has to do for this week.
We transition next to Rex. Rex has decided to arrange a meeting this week between himself and one Agent Glass, the DEA agent that was in charge of the acquisition of the $50 million of cocaine from the cartel that the coterie managed to steal. So, how are you getting in contact with Agent Glass?
So Rex is hoping Annalise has set up the phones at least to be encoded enough that we can keep it anonymous so that it can't be tracked to me.
I'll say that she was able to arrange that fairly easily. She would have directed you to just press a couple of buttons on a laptop to make the phone call before leaving you with it.
Okay. So I'm just connecting via semi-untraceable or just untraceable phone call. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah. Basically, it's gonna register as unknown number when the gist of what she told you is that it's gonna register as an unknown number to him and bounce back and forth between cell towers to not be able to pick up a definitive location.
Mm.
So you call. And you hear the phone line go live. Agent Glass, how can I help you?
Hi, buddy. You don't know me, but I know you.
Who's this?
Oh, well, let's just say you helped some friend of mine find a truck, and it helped me out a lot.
You hear a pause, and then you hear some movement from that phone line, and you hear the door, the sound of a door being locked. What the fuck do you want?
So, by the way, very much thankful for what you have done. I don't know if the boys where the delivery site were uh, noticed that anything was awry.
No, they reported that everything went smoothly and that they didn't even stop, so however much you paid them, I assume your pockets are fucking deep.
Probably. Anyway, so it sounds like you didn't get any flack for that. That's good. Good job.
What'd you
Now-
replace it with?
Just some crap. Same stuff. I'm sure you can make a guess. Anyway, that's not the point. The point here being that I'm calling you about something else. I need your help again. But not for anything bad, actually. This is actually, let's call it an anonymous tip.
Keep going.
You see, there's a hospital in Dunedin. I forget the name, but I'm sure it's pretty obvious.
Mies Dunedin?
That sounds right. Look, let's just say they have a little too many controlled substances than they should, and probably some substances they shouldn't have at all. So, my recommendation is to maybe give them a random search. And I'm sure you'll find a nice, juicy bust on your hands. Get you a nice pat on the back
Look.
by the big boys.
Alright, listen. I appreciate the tip, but there are procedures in place that make that kind of thing a little difficult for me. Usually, when drugs go missing or are being sold out of a hospital, there's a whole internal affairs unit that they have to go through before the authorities can be contacted. Otherwise, our asses can get in trouble if the tip turns out to be fake. A lot of
Oh, trust me.
lawsuits.
Oh, trust me, this isn't gonna be fake.
Forgive me for not putting a lot of trust in the guys who blackmailed me with a picture of my girlfriend high as a kite at some nightclub.
Yeah, she did have fun, didn't she? I don't know how you're gonna do it.
Alright, look. I would love to have this because it could offset the bullshit you guys just made me do. But I need a paper trail. Without a paper trail, it's just hearsay. I have someone I report to also. The hospital can stop us from going in altogether and refuse to allow us to search the premises. There are HIPAA laws in place that make it so. If you can get me paper or like a paper trail, any bit of evidence that can tie me to believe that there are drugs being sold from the hospital, then I can move in with a warrant. But without evidence, no judge in this city is going to give me a warrant. Not for a hospital.
Fair enough. I'll get you your papers. No big deal. Should be easy with my connections.
Fucking damn it. Is that it? Is that all you wanted? Mr. Mysterious Voice in the phone?
Yeah, that's about right. We'll contact you again. Not just for your evidence, but probably for something else in the future. Don't worry about it. Or do. I'm not your boss. Or am I? I guess so. Have fun. Click.
You end the call very abruptly, kind of relishing in the delight of probably ruining this dude's night. Because it's nighttime when you called him, he would have been off the clock. Probably at home about to enjoy dinner and a movie. But instead, you enforced more blackmail, and we'll see where that leads. Our next scene is going to be between Alex and Valerie. Alex, you have been adjusting throughout the week, getting used to the not to your tastes coterie haven. The kitchen is nice, could use some work. The rest of the house is a nightmare. There's a Jar Jar Binks figure, mannequin, I don't know, in the living room. There is a giant statue of a horse rearing in there as well. There's just tacky, kitschy decor all over the place. One of the bedrooms literally has a motorcycle on the wall, half a motorcycle on the wall, and it's half lengthwise. It doesn't make any sense. This place is just, it's like walking into the weirdest roadside museum on the highway, and it's just a nightmare for your Toreador sensibilities. But the kitchen's nice, and that's the one solace you get. Now, one thing that you had been wanting to do this week is discuss with your new coterie mate Valerie about a subject that you felt that she might have some knowledge on. So tonight we find ourselves in the kitchen, Alex going about organizing it to her preferences, when Valerie would have come down for the evening, having just roused and waken. And the scene is yours.
Ah, Valerie, just the one I was looking to talk to. Oh, are you free for a little while?
I have some availability for the moment.
Very well. I'd like to inquire a bit more about your ghouls.
Any specific questions? What about them?
What was it like turning them? How did you prepare for that eventuality?
So, my circumstances may be a bit different from yours, especially considering my heritage being a Ventru, that I did not have to turn either of them myself, that I inherited them from my uppers, my sire. I can tell you a bit about it, though. I was shared some of the details of the process, especially considering that I may do so in the future for, another ghoul who may serve a different purpose.
I would be most grateful. I have a few in mind myself, and I'd like to make sure to do it properly.
Now, Crafty, how much would I know about the actual ghoul making process?
So, I'll say you don't even have to roll on this because you have a ghoul and you know the process of making sure that they're bonded to you. You know that you have to feed them your blood 3 times. You have to feed them 3 times your blood. Not on the same night, though. They have to be on 3 separate nights. And basically, they are bonded to you for... the bond that you start creating lasts for a year, and you basically have a year to finish it before the effect wears off, and then you'd have to start all over again. Now, when they drink your blood, you know that they stop aging. Sometimes they take on the talents that the kindred possess, though not as powerful as you would possess it, and that they become essentially addicted to it. they can't survive without it, and if you were to just cut them off high and dry, they'd probably die from it. Any years that pass would catch up to them instantly, and more often than not, they don't want to live without it anymore if they survive the years catching up.
I'll say, well, to begin, usually you look for someone with a specific skill set or purpose in mind, and usually you can try and get their predisposition a little bit better towards you, make them appreciate you a little bit beforehand, but that's not as necessary. Once you begin the process, they'll slowly start appreciating you more and more until the point where they practically become dependent on you. So
Already accomplished.
but to do so, you have to feed them your blood on 3 separate nights. You have a year to do so quite some time. Once you complete the 3-step process, they will be fully your ghoul. They'll maybe take on some aspects, some of your abilities, but they'll be addicted to your blood, willing to pretty much do almost anything to get it, especially if you learn how to ration it out towards them. However, it is something to be cautious about, because some ghouls will do anything to get their fix. So try not to make them too starved, as they may seek to try and get it themselves or seek someone else to fill that vein.
Understandable. I'm also kind of wondering, how would you slowly break the masquerade to them? Explain what we are. Or prepare them.
That one's a bit more tricky. How I would do it personally is I would try to make them fully bonded before you reveal everything to them. That way you are at the least amount of risk of them going off and freaking out about something. At that point, they practically need you. So what are they going to do? Of course, you can try and let them know, lure them into the idea. If you think they'd be more open to it, talk about they stop aging, they get increased strength, beauty, just all sorts of different benefits. Just depend, I suppose, how you want to approach it and who it is you're talking to.
2 of my employees, to be specific.
Well, do you think that they would be open to the idea? That you don't think they would, blow the whistle and tell everyone? I mean, you could easily, find a way to feed them your vitae one way or another.
Does it have to be direct?
That'll be an intelligence and occult roll, Valerie.
I love these rolls. Am I a hunger 1 right now?
Yes.
Should I actually rouse first before I do this?
Yes, please. We'll say that after this scene too, it'll all be the same night. So, Alex and Rex, if you guys would like to rouse as well.
So I failed my hunger.
Yay!
Oh, I didn't do it right, but it's fine.
You all got hungry.
Be a little cranky. It should be fine. Actually, do I really want to risk that? I can only reroll 1 of those.
Oh no, I really need to eat.
Shh. Rex, they can't see you. He's obfuscated.
I don't know if I actually did it right.
Wait,
I
three successes.
got 3
is enough.
together with the potential of bestial, yeah.
So with 3 successes, you know that whenever it's a blood bond between kindred, it has to be directly from the vein. But with ghouls, there's a little bit more wiggle room. You would figure that as long as they get it within 10 minutes if slipped into a drink, perhaps. If it was to be slipped to them discreetly, about 10 minutes before it loses all its potency.
Yeah, I'll say you have about 10 minutes before it loses its power. You can put it into a drink, try and discreetly give it to them. Though I know those who are more prolific or among certain scenes prefer making it a whole thing, making it a pleasurable thing.
Understandable. Well, they are used to frequently sampling my cooking when trying out new recipes, so that shouldn't be too challenging to do. I am grateful for your advice, Valerie.
No problem. I also just always remember that your ghouls are disposable. Make
Agreed.
Make sure not to get too attached to them.
So, one of your ghouls is a relative of yours, is it not?
That would be the case.
And you said you inherited them.
In a manner of speaking. I mean, he is a bit different. River, the one that you saw me get from De Leon, I have gotten from my sire. And the other one, he haven't not technically my ghoul fully, more so affected from his previous master.
Does it
At
have a
some point.
name?
Just I suppose his name is Marquise.
Marquise. Interesting. What's it like having a relative of yours under such control?
To be honest, I would much rather have him gone fully and maybe just out of the picture entirely. But as the circumstances and considering what he's done, the least I can do for him is keep him here and at least honor the fact that he did save my life a little bit.
Pets can indeed be useful.
Indeed they can. But as for the advice I have to give for ghouls, especially, you should be able to quite easily with your business, especially if you do anything with the wines, that probably would be a good way to disguise the look and the flavor.
Maybe a fine Bordeaux, perchance? Or Chardonnay?
Not too
Perhaps
keen. I'm
some-
not keen on specifics, but I'm sure you'll find one that matches.
River is walking in at this moment, getting ready for the day, walking over to make himself some coffee with a percolator instead of just drip coffee. And he'll comment, if I may, ma'am.
Yes.
Go ahead. I kind of should have looked to Alex for a second before I just say, you can go ahead.
He'll dip his head. River is now nicely dressed. He's wearing a very soft looking sweater with the sleeves rolled up, and nice slacks with stylish shoes. His hair has been styled, mousse, fluffy, blow dried, and he has shaved all of the overgrown beard off. But as he's readying his coffee for the morning, he'll comment, Nice Bordeaux would actually be the best way to disguise it. It looks most similar to Kindred Vitae.
Thank you for the advice. You enjoy that coffee?
Yes, I make it myself every morning. Cuban coffee.
Nice. Would you be interested in possibly having an espresso maker added to this kitchen?
He will look to Valerie. That would be something that my Dometer would make the decision.
Your Dometer, I don't believe, has much taste in beverages.
No, but she decides what I am and allowed to have and enjoy.
See, Alex, one thing that, like I said earlier, that ghouls are property, and River is my property. So you don't get to decide what he has or what he can't have. Much as that was yours for your ghouls, I will respect decisions and not try to, or not order them around like I am their dominator.
I was merely curious if an addition to the kitchen would be appreciated.
Which I think it would also be great. It'd be good to have a little bit more to here. I'm sure that it would help you out a little bit.
Provide myself more energy to take on the tasks that you assign me throughout the day, ma'am. He says that specifically to Valerie.
So, any other questions?
How do you survive in such a tacky place? None of this art seems to mesh well.
It's been difficult to ignore the design choices. I'm very sure that De Leon did this on purpose.
No,
but
this was not him. Sorry, apologies for speaking out of turn, but no. Not even a no Toreador would do this.
Clearly.
But I try and set my sight for the future of getting somewhere better and with much better designs.
What do you have in mind?
I imagine somewhere well fortified. Depends on where we will end up. I'm not going to stay here forever, underneath the rule of De Leon. So, I suppose where I end up somewhere. Main thing is well fortified and near a place of commerce, I would assume.
I happen to know a place nearby that, if you're looking for somewhere to perhaps do a meeting, may be amicable.
What did you exactly have in mind?
I happen to own a restaurant not too far from here. We passed it on the way leaving the spa. Pleasant decor, intimate setting, guarantee of no over-listening ears.
How would you feel about some publicity? I happen to have some contact in some TV a news station, and I'm sure that you could possibly benefit from some airing some positive representation or rep.
That would be well appreciated. I would be very grateful for that. Just make sure you target the right clientele.
Of course, and obviously, just making sure you do me a favor in return, correct?
Depends on what you have in mind.
Nothing of note yet. Just making sure that we're at least. I don't do things. I think one thing you'll come to understand about me that I don't do things for free. That's an easy way to make yourself a slave to those around you. I'm trying to do acts of charity.
Likewise.
So, just as long as you understand that a small favor will be owed in the future, a minor one, if you will. That's all I would ask for.
Mhm. I have a tendency to dazzle those with status, so if you need connections, I may be able to assist with that in the future.
Excellent. That's good to hear. I'll try to get in contact this next week or so with the station that I'm a part of, and try Bay News 9 actually specifically. I'll try and get in contact with them and see if I can get your restaurant on the news, get some better clientele, more refined clientele in there.
Thank you. Local clientele. I seem to have a pretty good corner on the tourist market, but I'm looking for more residents.
I'm sure they'll know how to angle that then. But
I'd also like to apologize for my behavior in the sewers. As we got off on a bad foot.
I also was a tad. I was definitely aggressive myself. I was quite hungry and freshly out of a torturous 2 weeks in Tampa. So I also apologize for my hostile behavior, though I do appreciate it.
We entered your
glad that-
territory without your permission. It's understandable.
That's why I'm glad that when Rex kind of snuck up ahead, that Rex didn't do anything too hasty.
Rex is a character.
He's pretty reliable. I actually think you'll come to appreciate him and his skills.
Any other skills I should be aware of that may be useful of Rex's?
I should think that would be for him to disclose, not of me. It would be.
I would prefer you be the one to disclose it, have the upper hand there, so to speak.
I suppose I can just share some common stuff. As we all like to keep our secrets and keep our, skills to ourselves sometimes. So he
Of
has
course.
good connections amongst the cartel. He has a way of getting illicit substances when he needs it. He has shown that he can talk to animals, which was useful on an occasion. Actually, multiple. Actually, now I think about it, he's been quite a stable head, a rational mind, comparatively to what we had before. A Bruja and a Gangrel. It was.
Yeah, those can be rather testy.
You only seen the Bruja. It was every moment I say something, the opposite thing. Trying to just suggest anything is like, no, because you are Ventru, and I'm just like, it was exhausting, but that's why I'm actually quite relieved that, at least it's you and Annalise who are, and at least maybe a bit more, I guess, feisty, or, have a little bit of spice to her. She is very competent, at least. I can respect that. And
My talents primarily lie with dealing with the kind. I find I have my ways with them. Where would your talents happen to lie?
As Rex shared in the sewers, I specialize in manipulating the minds of actually primarily kind, though I haven't had to use it on Kindred yet, but I imagine if I needed to do so, I could. Just I have the ability to alter memories of those that I talk to, which has come rather useful for cleaning up any messes that were left behind. especially by someone in our own group before, but
Who would that happen to be?
would you like to take a guess? I'll give you a
I
hint. It starts with B, ends with ah.
hmm. Bia? I don't know anyone by that name.
The Bruja.
Oh, good riddance. I'm glad it's not you. Everyone should try their best to not leave things like that behind.
Besides that, is there anything else that you want to ask about, like ghouls or anything of note? I
Could
do
I?
have to go about my day.
As do I, though. I would appreciate it if we could come to some sort of arrangement where we won't use any of those mind manipulation powers on each other.
I can agree to that with you. I mean, I don't do so. I have a personal policy not using it on those who I work with, because if you break that level of trust, and at that point, how can anyone trust you when you're working with them if you alter their memories and kind of dominate them in order to do as you will? I believe in respect. As long as you're working with me, I respect you enough to not have to do those things. And as long as you don't use anything like that on me or try to, especially using something along the lines of, supernatural charm, it shouldn't be an issue.
I'm less about charm and more about force of will. What I can promise, though, is I won't read too deeply into you with my heightened senses.
Noted.
Mhm.
But you will have nothing to worry about when it comes to mental manipulation. But
Thank you.
It's actually been nice to talk to you. I'm going to go about the rest of my day.
Likewise.
And with that, we're going to go ahead and take a short break. And when we come back, it turns out our Tremere will be able to join us after all. So we'll see you here after the break. welcome back. So, last we left off, our coterie was doing some work throughout their week, having some conversations, catching up with people, while our Tremere was also doing the same, but in a little bit of a different manner. So, Annalise, you were out getting those blood bags that you were wanting to stock in your little mini fridge. When you decided to go out and do some research on these new people that you were hanging out with, and that would have involved a little bit of a phone call to Marcos, because he's the person you know the most here who would know these people best. So,
Absolutely.
You're on the phone with Marcos. When your when a compulsion hits of paranoia, as you're thinking about these people that you're hanging out with. He's on the phone. Yeah, what do you want to know, Anna?
Who are they? Like, I got first names on 3 randos, and I don't. That's not nearly enough. What can you tell me about this Valerie broad? I already know a little bit about Alex.
That Valerie chick is a piece of work, is what she is.
That's promising.
I don't know, man. De Leon had to hand her over to the cam. I don't know how the fuck she got back. So that's got me a little suspicious right now. And Annalise, that's your paranoia is hitting you pretty hard at the mention of that, especially when the cam is involved.
Yeah, because Cam Tremere are not fond of strays.
Nope.
And you don't know how she got back or nothing?
No fucking clue.
Shit. That's not good.
No.
What about that old ghoul that was with her? Because then she came and picked up a different ghoul from you guys.
I have no idea who the fuck that is. I thought he was a member. I recognize him. Turns out he's a member of the golf club resort, the golf club aspect of the resort. But apparently he's a ghoul now too. I don't know. I don't fucking know who this guy is. According to what I looked up at the resort, his membership information, his name's Marquis Monet.
Interesting. Okay. Do you have an address for Marquis Monet?
Yeah, over in Tampa.
Oh shit, isn't that Cam territory?
Yeah, that's Cam territory. Whole different prince. They don't like us here.
What the fuck? Well, that's good to know. Jesus. Putting a lock on my fucking door.
What, you don't already? Fucking get to it.
I mean, another one. Hang on, what did you say this Valerie chick's name was?
Valerie Monet.
And this old motherfucker's name is Marquis Monet?
Maybe it's her brother or dad. I don't know. I don't know how old she is.
Interesting. Yeah, it's always hard to tell with us. We don't...
Yeah, so it could be anything.
We age like marble.
Except I look better.
I mean, you do, but you're being allowed to age like fine wine, my dear.
Excuse me. I present wine. I am a fine Caribbean rum.
My apologies. The best Caribbean rum.
Excellent.
All right. What about this Rex guy? This
Rex, he's a solid dude.
He's solid? Okay.
Yeah. That kid's gonna go places. He's got the he's been involved in the life, at least the cartel life, for long ass time, since before he got punched with the ugly stick.
Yeah. Alright, well that's good to know. At least he's got life experience.
Yeah. DeLeon trusts him to make the calls for the little group and to get shit done.
Fair enough.
Doesn't like looking at him while he's doing it, but
Well, no, but y'all's family tends to appreciate the aesthetics a little more than most, so I can understand that. But
yeah.
alright, well. Oh, this might be a stupid question, but Marcos, do you know what clan this Valerie chick is in?
She's a blue blood.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Seriously, we got a fucking...
Little princess in your group, yeah.
Who keeps climbing out the fucking window and leading them straight through our door. Delightful. Oh my god. Okay.
Listen, between you and me, if you have a gun, you probably should take out the old man.
I fucking might. That's not...
I don't trust
Some of
that
these things
one
don't-
minute.
Some of these things don't belong, and it's not the frickin' Nosferatu. Alright, what about little Miss Baker?
California girl. Likes to think she's unforgettable.
The way she talks, you would think DeLeon was obsessed with everything she does. Does he actually give a fuck?
No, he doesn't. He just likes having nice things in his place. And
Fair
she
enough.
provides a very nice thing that he's been wanting to improve on.
Fair enough. Alright. I just wanted to check, because you can never tell if somebody's actually legitimately captured someone's attention or if they just think they have. Or want to
Listen,
think they have.
you know, like, she's a rose. She's gonna fucking think she's the top. She's the thing everyone's obsessed with.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
She's gonna think she's the top. She's gonna that she is. Let's see. She's a chef. She's gonna think that she's the filet mignon while the rest of you are skirt steak.
That's okay. Food on the plate never knows when it's gonna end up in the doggy bag. Okay. I appreciate it, Marcos. Well, if you guys need anything from me specifically, you know where to reach me. As always, I'm ever at your service.
Yeah, for sure.
I appreciate it, my love. You have a wonderful evening, and I will catch up with you later.
Yeah, for sure. Keep an eye. Like I said, keep an eye on that one guy. Don't trust him.
Yeah, 2 eyes and possibly some cameras.
Yeah, I'll probably be down there in a little bit because I might have some news for you guys here. Depends on how this next phone call goes, but might see you here shortly.
That would be a slightly expected delight. We will see you then.
All right. So, Annalise, you hang up the phone, but this compulsion of paranoia is not going away. And you can't help but fixate on this knowledge that you've got on Valerie and now her newly acquired ghoul.
Yeah, that shares the family name. Delightful.
And that's right downstairs. In fact, you're able to hear that the coterie is pretty much beginning to gather downstairs in the Haven.
Oh man. Would you say this is like a violent paranoia or a reclusive paranoia?
I would say it's a more of a manic paranoia to find out more. More like a Nosferatu clan compulsion paranoia. It's a little bit of a Nosferatu needing to know what the fuck's happening mixed with a little bit of some malkness. Can't hear you.
Sorry, wrong button. Sorry. I will make sure that I have my firearm tucked safely into the small of my jeans, and I will trot downstairs and see what I can nose up.
All right. So, transition to scenes. You see that Valerie and Alex had been deep in a conversation within the kitchen, with Valerie beginning to step away. Valerie's ghoul is making coffee, and he's just about to like pour it into a cup for himself, a little espresso cup. Rex, would you just be arriving? Probably.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and Rex is coming in through the front door. Now, the subjects of your paranoia, Annalise, Marquis, he is sitting on the couch. Just being quiet for the most part. He has the TV on and is just watching it absently. But he isn't making a fuss. You can see that there's blankets and a pillow on the couch, which indicates that he was probably sleeping there. Some shopping bags with newly acquired clothing that he had to purchase for himself recently. But yeah, the subjects of your paranoia are both right there. And the scene is all yours, guys.
As I enter, I will also be staring daggers at Valerie's dad.
Fashionably late as ever, I see.
I don't exactly have the best transport, so less fashion, more arrangement.
I was
Do what
referring
I
to
can.
Annalise.
Hey, Alex, bite me.
Is that an offer?
It's a promise. Rex, do you want a car, or do you just not believe in, combustion engines, or like, what's your deal? And as I'm saying that, I'm sitting down on the couch next to Marquis, and I'm gonna wrap an arm around him and be like, "And you? I didn't know you were sleeping here."
I'm at Valerie, Miss Monet's whim.
Interesting.
Imagine what I see that I'll start walking up and sit on the, if I can't sit on the other side of Marquise, and kind of just for a moment stare daggers at Annalise before just settling in.
Don't pick on someone else's ghoul.
Listen,
Yeah.
if you're in shared housing, you don't get to bitch about how others interact with the house pets if they're not causing them harm.
Some house pets have specific requirements that you may not be aware of. It's best to respect stuff like that.
That sounds like Cammy bullshit.
Anyone interested can roll me a wits and insight on Marquise.
All right.
I think I will not do that.
Would I get any kind of boost from the previous insight into him?
No.
Okay.
This is more of a how he's feeling in the moment, sort of.
Let me roll my rouse first.
Yes, please do so.
Sweet.
One success for myself.
3 successes.
3 successes. And just need Annalise now.
Working on it.
I know. New dice spot's an adjustment. Well, it's not new, but some adjustments, updates have been made to it.
Good to know. So, Annalise, to change the subject, I actually have a question for you.
Certainly. What's up?
You're good with social media, right?
To put it mildly, sure.
Do you think you could help boost my presence on some of the sites? Drum up some business, perhaps? I'd owe you.
Let me think about it and get back to you. That's not difficult for me, but I have to decide if I give enough of a shit.
So, Alex, as you're conversing, talking to Annalise, you are seeing, it's not Annalise, Alex. Alex is the only one that's able to notice. Marquise is very tense in the moment. He basically has this. It's like when you put a mouse into a tank with a snake. Only there's a lot of snakes in this tank. So he is very tense, he's very nervous right now, and he is keeping his gaze level to his lap and trying not to say or do anything to incur a jab or a bite.
To answer your question, I don't need a car. I'm fine.
You sure?
I imagine his lack of sobriety may play into that.
Oh no, trust me. I don't get my hits that often anyway. And nothing that would be and actually I do better when I'm high, thank you.
That's
Anyway,
what they all say.
yeah, well you haven't seen me. Anyway, look, it's not a big deal. And also, maybe now let's not hug the cam spy. That'd be great.
The what?
But
Oh,
if
come
I've got
on.
him close to me, then I don't have to stress about getting my hands on him if I need to.
What did you just call him?
I'm not a spy. I'm not here to spy on the camera from the camera for the camera. I'm here for Valerie, Miss Monet.
Hey Valerie, I got a question for you. And feel free to tell me to fuck off, I'm sure you will. But when exactly were you turned? Embraced?
How about I'll answer your question if you get your hands off my ghoul.
Off your ghoul or off your dad?
What did you just say?
They are the same. Yes, that is my father. Congrats.
Oh,
Big
wow.
secret revealed. I know.
Impressive.
Interesting.
Yes, sir. It's a long story, which I don't want to get into right now. But the main thing is, he helped me out, so the least I can do is not throw him to the fucking curb. Look, it's when you're one of us, you have to at least follow some basic principles. One of the Ventru of gravitas, making sure to respect those who do you good, to act in good faith when you can. So if he helps me, I will make sure to try and at least help him back here a little bit.
I don't need details because I get that you recent events and all that, but I would like some context for... Did you ghoul him, or do we have to worry about his kindred showing up at our fucking doorstep and looking for their pet back?
She couldn't come here if she wanted to, but no, you wouldn't have to worry about someone coming over. That, in fact, I will be taking over for it. You don't have to worry.
Just to state my opinion, I do not like him being here. Do what you will, Valerie, but I just want to make my opinion aware.
How come?
Okay, I guess you need the context. Valerie just came back from fucking Cam territory over some bullshit that she said at a party. And she mysteriously comes back with her dad. And knowing Ventru, mindfuckery was afoot. She could be a spy. He's definitely a spy. This is all fucking bullshit that could be a ticking time bomb. I trust Valerie a little bit more, but he's a fucking blood slave.
What if, and he looks to Valerie, what if I literally drank from her right now in front of you?
Question for the storyteller.
Yes.
Is my compulsion satisfied for the admittance of him being her dad, or not yet?
You're still a little paranoid. It's a long-term. You probably got a pretty high messy crit. It's a long-term compulsion.
That's fair. I just wanted
Gonna
to check.
last the scene.
Look, I don't know much about how this works. If anybody else wants to confirm that that's a good idea, then have at it. But otherwise, I still don't like it. I see that.
How much would I know about blood bonds given the Tremere lack of
Go
having
ahead
been looted?
and roll me a wits and occult.
I'll say real quickly.
Or
I'll say,
intelligence
Valerie,
and occult.
I would say it would be better if he's here anyways, because if we let him off on his own resources in our area, or at least on his own without us being able to keep an eye on him, we can't be for certain when he comes and goes, if he is a spy, when he's going to report for Agnes. It's
Agnes.
the name of my sire. It's
Is she
for the-
Cam?
Yes, I just mentioned going to the Cam territory, having to be held there by my sire, but
Does
Ah.
have a last name?
Agnes Babel.
Like the tower that got fucking... Never mind. Okay. We'll get into that later.
Yep, that's. And I would recommend not trying to mess with her, mainly because she has a lot of resources. And the idea, if we start trying to poke the bear, so to say, it could turn out pretty bad. If I was let here for a reason, it'd be best not to provoke anything.
Four successes. With 4 successes, Annalise, you would know that blood bonds are a very normal thing in Kindred Society. You, as a Tremere, know a little bit more about them, mainly that you can't form blood bonds. You can be blood bonded, but you cannot force a blood bond on another kindred. And
Yeah.
even when
Tremere
you want,
got neutered.
yeah, Tremere got neutered. And basically, if you were wanting to do get yourself a ghoul, you would have to give them twice the amount of vitae that a normal kindred would have to give one of their ghouls. And but you do know that blood bonds make individuals subservient to those they are bonded to. It's basically
I
a
was a
leash.
ghoul at one point. I would remember. Rex, if you, I know I'm brand fucking new, but if you want to take my word for it, I was a ghoul, so that would, drinking from Val would help supersede pre-existing programming, if you will.
Do what you want. I don't know.
So how'd you get out of that bond then? And raise yourself. So how'd you raise yourself up to kindred?
You get embraced.
But you said you were a ghoul.
Yeah,
Usually-
you get embraced as a ghoul and become a kindred.
So what'd you do to prove yourself? How long did that take?
That's none of your fucking business.
If it would make everyone more at ease here, I can have my father feed from me.
I'm fine either way.
Let's just get out of the way. Fucking do it. I'm not about to be. I don't know. Just fucking do it. I don't know. Just.
I'd feel better if you did it.
Let it be known in the future that Annalise, please don't touch my property. You should understand at least the rules of what's yours is yours and what's mine is mine. Even though we may share under the same roof, I don't go into your room and mess with your things, mess with your technology, and I expect you not to mess with my things.
I haven't brought any cammy shit into this house.
This is my shit. This is my thing to deal with. And I'll make sure this doesn't have any consequence on us. And that's what I'm going to do right now, as I'll bite into my wrist and I will look. It's pretty hard. It would be almost impossible for me to hide it. Just a look of just absolute disgust towards this, and just here you go.
All right, yeah, he'll take the wrist and he'll take enough that as required and drink it down. Because he is already a ghoul, you don't take stains against your humanity. This is not a fresh human off the street. This is someone who is already a ghoul, and you're basically just keeping him on track.
You're assuming a lease.
You're assuming the lease on the property is basically what's happening right now. But yeah, he takes the drink, pulls away, wipes his mouth with the back of his hand with a handkerchief actually that he pulls out of his pocket. Bit better?
A little bit, thank you.
Wait, you didn't do that previously when you first got your hands on it?
Miss Vic, I want you to think for a second and look. He's my father. What? I guess you don't understand that quite as much because you don't have a ghoul. But when it comes to this, there is almost a level of intimacy to it. One of which that is very uncomfortable, especially to those who you find as family. You remember when I said they become dependent and almost obsessed with you? Don't you think that would be a little weird if that was your father obsessed and dependent on you?
Still better than it being someone else so close to you under someone else's control.
Alex, it's kind of West Virginian.
Or Clan Hikata.
It's a little I hear banjos paddle faster, if you will.
I understand, but still,
If you
that kind of
understand-
control in your haven is not something.
If you want your daddy sucking on your wrist, that's your fucking problem, but not everybody else would.
I'd rather prevent spies in our midst, though I doubt it.
That was the goal of keeping him here. That's why I wanted to keep him at the haven, because if I let him go out, or I said fuck off and told him to go somewhere else, how will I keep track of him to make sure that he doesn't go see Agnes or go report to whatever next person he needs to go see and just keep an eye on me from a distance?
That's why you bond him first thing.
Friends close and enemies closer. I get it, Valerie.
Yes,
Alex, how old are you?
That's a good question. How old are you, Alex?
Old enough.
Apparently fucking not. They already explained it. How about you let it go?
Very well. My apologies.
Marquise is just sitting stone still, not saying anything, just waiting for it to die down around him.
Well,
Annalise
would
has
certainly
removed her arm
conversation.
and has scooched a little to the side.
is there any other reason we're here tonight other than to harass your father?
We
Did
could
y'all-
clean up the tackiness of this place.
That's not a thing at all. I fixed your cameras a little bit in the sewer. I don't remember if I told you or not, but did you all get the text I sent you for the app to download?
The rest of you would
No.
have, actually, I forgot, that was my bad. I forgot to tell you guys in your chat. The rest of you would have gotten during the week a link for a private app for the security systems in the sewers to check on them.
I would download it.
Who's responsible for the security system?
Who the fuck do
I
you
s-
think?
I set it up first, but I basically handed that off directly to Annalise.
Impressive. You may not be so useless after all.
I've never been as useless as you, sugar tits.
Besides that,
Okay.
I actually have some information myself. Not exactly super crucial, though I've had a contact in the area search around, keeping the ear low. It's actually Rex, you know her, the Aurelia. Actually, and also make sure everyone else knows here. I have a contact. They are kindred. Their name's Aurelia. So if you see them going around, don't kick them out or kill them. They're under my employment. So, but anyways, continue on. She apparently has heard, kind of gotten some information that the homeless population for some reason was heading down south, kind of towards Camarilla territory, down past the neutral zone, which is odd. It's not something entirely important or maybe relevant to our investigation now, but it's something to keep in mind. Something to keep an eye out for.
I mean, that's clientele. That is important for me, at least.
Touching on the white situation that we were assigned, have there been a particularly large number of attacks in this area that would drive them out of the area? Maybe they got wise to being hunted by something?
No, it was more spread out through all up and down the Anarch territories. I mean, perhaps it's just all in all, the whole area is seemingly more dangerous to them. However, I don't think many of them were homeless. Actually, a lot of them were just of different kinds of people. Some of them probably were homeless. Some of them were just normal people. It was. I wouldn't think that would be the reason, especially because they're not. People die all the time. People go out and get hurt. I imagine it's nothing new to them.
Well, hold on, Valerie, because didn't we use one homeless lady as bait for the white? Even though I know you erased her. Well, wasn't it River? Yeah, River erased her fucking mind about it. But
And I rewrote her memory.
Right. So it could be related to her talking to everybody else about gang violence, since that's what you said, right? It could be word of mouth through our bait.
I mean, that could be, but they go so far down as past the neutral zone specifically. I mean, if they were worried, they could just migrate to somewhere else, maybe a little bit further south, a little bit further north, but specifically to into the St. Pete City area, where are more likely to, be caught and kicked out or sent somewhere else. It's a little odd specifically down there. I'm not sure about other territories if this is a bigger thing, but at least for ours, this is something that is apparently been talked about.
Well, I guess we can look into it.
It's a start.
I imagine this is more pressing for you, Rex, so I figured bring it up just in case someone might find something important from it.
Speaking of looking into things, I did a little digging on our Haley Curtis character. I don't know how much of this you guys already had, because I was kind of starting from scratch, but in her last activity on her profile for Facebook was a photo tagging herself, Dennis Cole, a Layla Crawford, and a Flora Lopez. And the last message her account received was on February 12th of this year. Like a sad birthday message from Flora saying that she wished she was here, hoped she was okay or something, and the happy birthday. So if we wanted to look into her further or find out more about her activities on the 12th, Flora might be a good one to start with, since she seems to care the most. Probably the easiest to get to talk about it.
Happen to know where she is?
I'm sure I can find out. But I wanted to talk to you guys before I did any more specified digging.
I'm more interested in the whole Twin Baron situation. What's our plan of attack there?
Well, we can discuss that in a moment. We should focus on this is our primary concern right now, especially considering it would be best if we weren't able to take it captive. we'll have to make sure to do what we can to find out why this exactly happened, or if there's some sort of pattern to. If there is more, we at least will understand where they're coming from, and we might get a motive or maybe a, I guess, idea of what our perpetrator, how they work. So I personally think that you are on the right track. That the friend might be a best course of action. It just depends on where they are. If they are in Tampa, then unless you can text her online and try and get information out of her, we're not going to be able to talk to her.
I mean, I could message her from her dead friend's account. That might get her attention.
Maybe a bit too much attention.
Yeah, and also I imagine she might not be in the best place to give information from that something like that.
No, but I meant more of establishing a meetup on this side of the bridge. But I can also just message her from a burner account and say that I'm a private citizen looking into it because I don't feel the cops did it justice.
I think that'd be a better approach to this than using the friend's account.
Agreed.
Also, I think I can, when we get to the point of locating a white, I'm pretty sure I can help capture rather than kill. I can turn my blood into a paralytic, so.
Impressive. You are full of surprises, aren't you?
Always.
Rex, it's about this time you get a phone call.
I'll look at my phone.
It's Marcos.
I answer it and go, Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. What's up, Marcos?
I got you that meeting you were wanting. Might not be with both of them, but it'll be with one of them, at the very least.
Excellent, thank you. Anything else?
No, that's it. Mr. Zeke London will, at the very least, Zeke London will be expecting you next Monday.
Fantastic. Hold on. Yo, we got a meeting with one of the barons at least. Zeke. Anyone want to say anything to our friend Marcos here?
Oh, I actually do have a question for Marco. If you would be so inclined, as I kind of just, are you like holding the phone out on speaker, or are you just like?
Oh, I'm holding it out, but I'll pass it to you.
Yeah, I'll actually put it on speaker. I'll say, Marcos, I know that hasn't been that much time, but there been any sort of updates on the request that I asked for?
You got a bank account?
I do.
Send me the wire transfer information. You'll get your money.
Excellent. And
Rex, your part's coming. Don't worry, it's just taking a little bit longer.
That's no problem.
use the venture thing on what, Rex? He's not a kindred.
On somebody else, but
What
Oh,
are you
God.
trying to do?
Rex,
I mentioned the
venture
venture
ability.
thing. So I was just saying, you asked about one of the others. If you want to ask the other one, if you or we could ask about, I don't know, one of the barons.
You haven't met
we
them.
We're about to meet?
We
Oh,
haven't met them yet.
them. Right. Oh,
When we do meet them, we
whichever.
can say it, but then not yet, though. Not yet. We'll have to think about it, because I don't think any really kindred we've met that I need to ask a question about right now, unless it mainly just would be Alex. But we can wait on that in just a little bit.
could-
We'll do this first, then we'll ask a question about Alex.
You could do
Wait,
your
what?
square.
Okay, sorry, but I'll say all right. I appreciate the generosity.
Yeah, whatever. Pass the phone back to Rex, please.
I'll actually look to Rex, and I'll for once in a blue moon, I have a very wide smile on my face as I hand the phone back, as I say, looking forward to speaking with you again soon. As I will hand it back.
La pendeja.
Okay. What up, man?
Am I on speaker still?
I'll press the button to turn it off the speaker and put it back in my face.
Keep an eye on that fucking guy that she's got with her. Don't trust that shit for 1 second. If you gotta put a fucking bullet in his head, you fucking do it, understand me?
Yeah, I understand. That sounds great.
And you keep an eye on her too.
Always.
Alright. Now say something about just say something say something to end the conversation that just goes along with the meeting, and we'll be fucking square, okay?
All right, Marcos. Thanks for everything. We appreciate that meeting. I'll make sure to I'll make sure to get the news of our expeditions and interviews to you as soon as I can. Have a good night, man.
And he clicks the phone.
Well, productive night.
Indeed.
Be surprised how scarce it can be sometimes, especially with the almost red tape of bureaucracy of the goddamn anarchs. You'd be surprised of how much levels of having to wait for meetings and talk about certain things.
I mean, when there's more than one prince equivalent, you have to manage it all the time.
I know. I imagine it's just
No less
something to think
frustrating.
about. Yeah, exactly. It's something that they we pride ourselves on it being the not Camarilla big association thing, and yet right now we're going through the red tapes of any Camarilla establishment here. But I suppose you can't escape them all.
Yes.
Annalise will make eye contact with Alex and say, so I thought over your request, and I think I have an offer for the whole group, actually, if you guys don't mind. I will do one favor for each of you. If you will make me a promise not to disclose my clan or preferably my presence to anybody affiliated with the Camarilla. My people are notoriously particular about who knows what where, especially the cam ones, and I would much rather not worry about a regent or anyone else showing up on our doorstep to fucking annihilate me or worse, take me back.
Agreed.
I actually, as you've heard of with my whole captivity in Tampa, I actually understand how you feel. I won't be disclosing who you are or what clan are you to any Camarilla we come across.
Honestly, you're looking at you're looking at a coterie of what I've been told are mostly supposed to be Camarilla loyalists as clans, as it goes anyway, and that we're all basically traitors to the greater clan affiliations. So we've got your back in that front, at least.
Appreciated. And like I said, I'm happy to do a favor for each of you. So, Alex, give me your social media accounts and you'll have a following you don't know fucking what to do with because there's too many.
I think I can manage.
I'm happy to sponsor some ads for you.
I actually have in mind something, but I'll talk to you more privately about that a later time.
Fair enough. Apologies for getting antsy about the situation with your dad, but you can understand given similar backgrounds and similar controlling distant relatives. I was raised Anarch, but doesn't stop the extended family from being the extended family.
I can understand. Sorry, I can understand the concern. Just like I said, try in the future be more mindful about my things and your things. I try and give a lot of respect to each of your privacies and what you own. And I hope that you have the same from each of you.
Fair enough. That's pretty much what I had. Anybody else got anything fun and interesting? Did the Knicks win?
The who?
It's a segue.
Can I use hey, Crafty, can I use, actually, if everyone's okay with it, can I use the venture ability to know something about a kindred I met before on Alex? If Alex is okay with it?
Mhm.
I love you. Woo!
Okay. So you're gonna use it?
In character,
Yeah.
no. Out character, absolutely.
All right.
Awesome.
I will say that some knowledge you are able to pertain just knowing that Alex is a chef, Alex Baker. This is actually going to be information that you know from mortal life, actually, during COVID specifically. Right before COVID hit and you guys had to be locked away for the safety of kindred, for all kindred, you recognize Alex from a TV show. She was on a cooking competition that never went all the way through because of the pandemic. So not only did you lose a show to watch, but now you have a food channel celebrity in your presence who appears to have been embraced.
I believe it was MasterChef.
For legal reasons, we can't say it's MasterChef.
Understood.
But it was a popular cooking channel competition show. She looked like she was going to be one of the finalists, but the show had to end because of the pandemic. And now
Canceled at the top 3.
She was in the top 3, yeah. But it turns out that she ended up becoming a kindred.
My favorite show, Wonder Cook. That's my favorite show. I will actually, like, for a moment I'll be thinking, and then I kind of something, I guess, of a segue of sorts. Actually, I remember before, Alex, you were talking about how you were on TV and how you were a celebrity, but I actually do remember back when I actually still breathed and lived. I remember actually seeing you on a cooking show before. The shame they cut it off before you could see your finale, huh?
The money would have been appreciated, would have saved me from having to deal with Sebastian. But it's not my problem, it's the world's.
I understand that it must be probably quite difficult, considering the fact that it would have been great publicity for you if you were to win that, and the fact that it was canceled must have been quite difficult.
I've attracted a sizable following on social media from it. It hasn't all gone to waste.
Now, I want to say, can I sense any sort of is Alex actually just really upset by this? Is Alex having underlying upset vibes?
That'll be a wits and insight roll versus Alex's composure and subterfuge.
All right.
I'm aroused because why not?
Because Valerie was on the edge.
I was really invested in the show, and now I gotta know.
I gotta know.
What does rousing do in this circumstance?
Rousing gives you 2 extra dice that you could add to your pool.
I'm absolutely going to rouse as well.
All right, so go ahead and give me a rouse check. All right, your hunger
And
is
successful.
unchanged.
Said composure and subterfuge.
Composure and subterfuge. Let's see how well you are masking at this moment.
I'm gonna use a willpower because I'll get it back. All right, 3 successes from me.
4 successes.
Oh.
Valerie. Okay, Alex, actually describe describe how you're able to mask. Like, how does Alex look right now as she's discussing how it doesn't bother her in any capacity.
It's not a huge bother. It apparently isn't a huge bother. It's a minor frustration that was able to be salvaged.
But facial, face wise, bodies, body.
Very professional.
Okay, yeah. She's got a very.
I'm in the kitchen. I'm in my element.
She is unfazed. There's the cook's in the kitchen, and the heat's not bothering her, Valerie.
Good to know. Good to know. I will say, all right.
I'm more interested in my current restaurant. The Sunset Parlor is set to be a big draw to this part of town.
I'll be interested to see it develop.
So, I would like to ask some support on that, if I may, Valerie.
Like I said, I can give you some airtime, or at least try with News 9.
Different kind of support. I'm looking to practice some recipes while I'm here, and rather than just throwing it away, I was wondering if I could toss it to the ghouls. They're unbiased. They wouldn't have any of my fans' appreciation, and which could bias their taste. Just here and there, you know.
Can you guarantee this is not going to injure them in any way?
Absolutely.
I know that you are a good
Absolutely.
chef.
Let me know if they have any dietary restrictions.
I know it's hard. I imagine it must be hard to cook when you don't have a sense of taste anymore.
Cooking's more in the presentation, the smell, the whole experience. Taste is merely one aspect that can be compensated for.
All right. I will leave it up to them in the moments when they feel if they want to partake or not. Marquise River, if you're offered by Alex, you can choose whether you would like it or not. If you eat or not.
They both look exceptionally intrigued by this suggestion and are into it. But you do they both nod in agreement that they would definitely like this. River especially looks like
Alex is very much masking their emotions and staying professional.
So you guys have the meeting for next week. You have a whole week to plot out how you're going to go approaching these barons. And we're going to transition our scene one last time. Behind a bar, somewhere in the Anarch territories, don't know where, there is a cook who is having a smoke break. They're leaning against the dumpster. They are smoking their cigarette. When suddenly they hear the sound of a can falling from the dumpster. They turn around to look at the dumpster and look, peering closer, and as they look over, a raccoon jumps out and starts running down the alley. He shoves the cigarette into his mouth, takes another puff, watching it run away. And as he watches, a figure leaps at him from behind, its fangs sinking into his throat. And pitch black eyes, wide and dilated, as it drinks and completely drains this person.
Uh-oh.
That's where we're going to end tonight's session.
I'm sure he's okay.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us for another episode of St. Pete by Night. Don't get caught. We have a lot of interesting programming coming to you, coming up this week. We've got What the Hell Was That tomorrow. We have After Dark this Saturday. Bloody Strings on Sunday, our Camarilla Chronicle. What the Hell Was That is our Hunter Chronicle. And then on Tuesday, we have our Werewolf Chronicle, Rage Across Tampa. So make sure to check all of those amazing shows out. Make sure to go to our YouTube channel where you can catch another chronicle that IST, SPbN By Night Mementos. That's going to be it's a YouTube exclusive. So if you want to watch it, you got to go to YouTube. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you to my amazing cast of players. And we will see you all here next week. Bye.
Bye.